guy standing up here talking at you, all right? But here's my background. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin, so I'm from this state, not Milwaukee, but the next biggest city in the state. I was raised by a single mom. When I was 2 years old, my dad went on a trip to go back to Trinidad, where he's from, which is in the Caribbean. He was supposed to be gone for 2 weeks, and he didn't come back for several years. I'm sure there's some people in the audience that can relate to that experience. So I was raised by my mom, and my coaches really played a strong role in my life, positive role as father figures. That's why I'm standing up here today, because of my coaches. When I was 9 years old, I moved 7 times in 1 calendar year. All right, again, there's probably some people in this room with some level of experience with dealing with poverty, dealing with instability, dealing with changes in your family. And so I went through that, and I'll tell you what, now being older, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went through that, because it made me stronger, it made me more resilient, and as you go through life, you're going to need those traits, you're going to need those attributes. I had no background in basketball growing up. I had no family members teaching me the game. I had no one that was pushing me to play basketball. I just kind of got into it organically. Played a lot of sports, but basketball was where I had the strongest positive male role models, so that's kind of the sport that I gravitated to and played in college, and then ultimately made my profession. And then the most important thing about me as it relates to you all is I was very fortunate to benefit from the advice and the love and the support of mentors. Some of those being my coaches, but some of those being other people in my lives. And that's a theme I want to come back to in a minute. So they've been talking to you guys about be the difference, right? But that just started today. And we've been talking about that all summer. All right, that's a big motto here at Marquette, but it's one of those things like every school, every organization, every company has a motto, and most of them are BS. Because it's just words up on the wall, all right? So here at Marquette, it's be the difference. And one thing I do appreciate about Marquette is a lot of people take that seriously, and they do strive to be the difference. And my thing is this, especially at a young age, even at my age, you gotta be the difference in your own life first before you can be the difference for anyone else, all right? So to use Steve's analogy, you gotta set the thermostat in your own life before you set the thermostat for anyone else. And the way we relate that or communicate that to our players is you have to play the starring role in your own growth and success. Every player that comes to Marquette to play for us, guess where he ultimately wants to go in the game of basketball? NBA, that's easy, okay? So if you're good enough to come here and be on a full scholarship to play basketball at Marquette in the Big East, that means you're thinking one more step, like the next step for me is to the NBA. But how rare do you think that is? Very rare. And if I had magic pixie dust that I could sprinkle on them to turn them into NBA players, and I would do that with every player. I'm going into my 15th year as a head coach. I've coached 14 guys that have played in the NBA, so it's about 1 per season, less than 1 per season. And so what that means is it's hard. We have a cultural principle that we try to adhere to every day. We're about to practice after I leave here. And that is we get past hard. So part of being the difference is you're going to have to play the starring role in your own growth, your own success, and you're going to have to get past hard. I'm a big quote guy. So I want to share this quote with you, and I wrote it down so I made sure I got it right, because I hate when people mess quotes up. Most of you guys ever heard of this guy, but he's someone I would encourage you, particularly if you have a faith-based background, to look into. His name's Howard Thurman, all right, one of the best preachers in American history. And he said, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Okay, so this is specific to you. Do not ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive. And then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And so whether you're at Marquette, whether you're in high school in the city of Milwaukee, or wherever you are, being the difference starts with coming alive. There's too many people right now that want someone else to turn them on. Like that ain't how life works. You gotta turn yourself on. You gotta activate yourself. and you got to figure out what it is that makes you come alive. And for me, it was basketball, although I love school as well. For you, it might be engineering, it might be mathematics, it might be you want to be a teacher, you want to be a mentor of some type. They asked me to talk about championship habits just because that's something that we use a lot with our guys. We truly believe first you make your habits and then your habits make you. So it's not about, like, we all have big goals and different things we want to do, but first you got to make habits that align with your goals. So whatever your expectations are, your habits, your daily living, it has to align with those expectations. Otherwise, that ain't gonna work. And so, wanted to give you 3 things that you should do and can do and need to do every single day in the upcoming year, because y'all are about to leave here and go your separate ways. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of programming throughout the year, including hopefully coming to watch us play. But for the most part, this is the end of the summer, and now can you jump off the stage, literally and figuratively, and grab hold of your life for the next calendar year? So 3 things I want to leave you with. Number 1, every day do something that's uncommon. Something that separates you in a positive way from the masses. Because unless you want to have average results, average outcomes, then your process, your habits, your behavior has to be uncommon. Here's the great thing. You get to choose what it is. You get to choose what it is. For me today, it's coming to talk to you guys. Most coaches would say, no, we got practice today, man. I'm locked in on practice and my team. I don't have time for that. But I want to come speak to you guys, and hopefully maybe there's 1 or 2 people here that I can impact. So do something uncommon every day. Has everybody got that? It doesn't have to be something grand and monumental. All right? It could be something really, really small. In fact, I encourage you to start with something really, really small. Number 2, and this could go hand in hand with number 1, be a positive domino in someone's life every day. So for us, the domino is a big term. When we win games, we call it domino of the game. The person that affected the people around them the most in a positive way, according to his teammates, is the guy that got voted the domino of the game. We make a big deal out of it. We celebrate it after every win. We put it on social media because, as you know, if something doesn't show up on social media these days, it didn't really happen. But for us, it's a way of celebrating the guy that impacted everyone the most. So for you, every single day, can you be a positive domino for someone in your life? Whether it's a sibling, whether it's a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, when you go to school, all the different people you interact with in school. And again, a lot of times we look at things backwards. We want people to be a positive domino for us. But it's like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So if you want more positive dominoes, then you be a positive domino. And then number 3, and I said this before, so I'm sorry to repeat myself for those of you guys that have heard me speak, but I really think it applies so much to this group. And it still applies to me as a middle-aged guy that's been coaching for a long time. Seek out every day, not every other day. Seek out and utilize the help of mentors. Every single day. You might say, well, I don't have mentors. I don't have anyone like that. Nah. You know, the majority of my mentors, I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't know Nick Saban. Any football fans in here? Never met him. You can say, Nick Saban, who's Shaka Smart? He wouldn't know who I was. But I studied him. I learned from him. And without even knowing it, he's a mentor of mine. And it doesn't matter that I'm a different race than him. I can still learn from him. Never like section yourself off like I can only learn from this group of people. I can only learn from men. Or I can only learn from women. Or I can only learn from everybody. Most of the best mentors out there, you don't need to know. Now, there are people that you can access in person. There's people in this room that can be very, very powerful mentors for you. And the reality is, all the great things you want to do in your life, you need help. You are not going to do those things by yourself. You have to play the starring role, but you need help. You need guidance. You need assistance. You need encouragement to stay on the path, because the path is hard. And let's be honest, for some of us, when we were born, The odds were stacked against us on our path. So what do you want to do? Do you want to give up? Do you want to feel sorry for yourself? Do you want to point to statistics? Or do you want to find the people in your life that can help you and go get it done? All right, I'll give you an example.